You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, everybody? It's your boy, Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders Podcast. And today we have an incredible guest. He is an independent creator that's been smashing it for quite some time. He was very forward. He said, I needed to make this book. People weren't popping off on it. I'm going to make it happen. This independent creator went ahead and took the steps to create this amazing book called Atomika, God is Red. And guess what? He did that back in 2005. But right now, folks, he has this amazing Kickstarter collecting every single issue of this amazing book that's, drawn by him with writer Andrew Dabb. But today we have Sal Abbinanti. Welcome to the show, my brother. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. I'm always staying out of trouble. As New Yorkers, though, it's a rarity if we're not in trouble.
I gotta ask. In case you need bail money, just where I am. Hit me up.
Oh man, yeah. Money is green, God is red, and Sal Abbinanti will save Al Mega's ass. Hey,
just don't call me comrade. I'm getting a lot of that. Oh, go back to Russia, and I'm like, guys, I'm from Chicago. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God! If this is really the truth, middle finger salute to you people. How dare you disrespect the big homie Sal like that?
It's all right. they somehow they think that because the character is Russian that I'm from Russia. Then it's like it's a comic book, guys. Take it easy.
Exactly. Wasn't Superman written by Jewish folks? But Superman wasn't from Israel, right?
It's comics. You just find a cool setting and you go with it.
Exactly, and a hell of a setting. But before we get into the awesomeness of this amazing creation you did, which I was, like we were speaking previously, I was buying this when it was coming out back in 2005 via the Speakeasy. I remember going to Midtown because I lived in New York back then. In Midtown, God bless them. They do support indie.
They did.
So they definitely, when I saw that there, I was like, ooh, what's this?
Yeah.
I was very happy to have picked it up. Amazing book. And obviously I got very saddened when I was finding it difficult to find it after a while. I was like, oh, what happened?
Putting out indie titles, it's you learn a lot, and keeping the consistency of it is a lot of that, because once you lose your momentum, it's tough.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to keep rolling it while you're doing it. If not, it's true, man. That energy does dissipate rather quickly. But let's talk about your energon and how you even got into all this goodness. So first and foremost, where are you from originally?
Chicago, north side.
Straight up.
Always. Yeah, always. Born and raised. Yeah, still here now.
Awesome. So you're talking to Brooklyn own right here. I'm also an Al, but unlike Capone, I'm not trying to take over Chicago, okay? I promise.
Okay.
Oh man, so awesome. So growing up in Chicago, how was it, for the comic book community? Were you a fan early on? Was it your family, your friends, or what? How was that community for you?
I got in it, the spinner rack at the drugstore. I fell in love with it when I saw Thor by John Buscema. I was a big John Buscema fan with Conan and Thor and John Romita and Gene Colan. I was a big Marvel guy.
So who put that book in your hand, though?
My mother would go to the drugstore.
Always mama.
The drugstore, and then you'd wind up wandering away, and then the spinner rack was always there, and then I hit the spinner rack and I discovered Thor, and it got bit by a vampire. I knew from the minute I saw comics. I said, man, this was it. I didn't even really care about the story as much as that was just the art. And then once I discovered Kirby, forget it. It
was a wrap.
It was all over. When I discovered New Gods and the Demon, I knew Kirby from like his DC years before. I didn't even realize he.
So you got caught on to Kirby after Marvel.
Marvel. New Gods, the Demon,
great stuff. OMAC.
OMAC.
OMAC is my shit, though. I love OMAC. Too bad that Marvel didn't quite understand that upgrade for Captain America at the time.
Commandy, I was a big Commandy guy.
I had that whole run, Sal. I had to let it go, but I had that whole run, yo.
That was amazing. That was it for me. because Kirby, it was like you don't get it, and then once you get it, then you really get it.
Have you seen the disrespect they try to do on Twitter recently because of the Eternals movie, and when they're trying to compare the how pretty the movie looks versus the book, and oh my God, what horrible art, are you stupid? Like, no, I mean, I'm not calling you guys stupid, all right? Let me not be that dude, but I was like, it's really total ignorance. Educate yourselves a little bit more.
Yeah, it's look, man, Kirby is one of the greatest artists of the 20th century, in my opinion. I mean,
cheers to that, brother.
There's, and I love him. I got a lot of heroes, but for me, there's Kirby, and then there's everybody else. Because there's no. I mean, that's always how it was. If I was going to send one guy to Mars to compete against the Martians for enslavement of our civilization, we got to have a competition. Your best artist against our best artist, and the loser, their planet is enslaved. I'd send Kirby.
With his imagination, hell yeah. I mean, did you see what he did with the NFL? Even
around, Al, they would just the Martian would go, oh man, forget about it. I'm done. There's nothing I can do against this.
Did you meet my mother? How did you know how she looked?
That's right. And so when people go, oh, but what about it? What about it? I go, guys, you could have a long conversation about a great artist and who's this and who's that. But for me, it starts and ends with him, and then there's everybody else.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just not the art. I mean, that imagination that the man had. I mean, it was
what he created, how prolific he was. This is a guy that was doing 4 to 5 books a month.
And nowadays you get a one person, a broken pinky takes him 3 months to do one book.
The guy does 22 pages a month now. That's considered he's like
he's a superstar. Yeah,
right. But to do 4 to 5 issues a month, that's superhuman. Nobody will ever do that again. I mean, that's not possible.
I agree. I say that all the time too, because we have a show called International Comic Crusaders, and we're all Kirby fans, and we always say is like there would never ever be another person that would have that workhorse ethic. I mean, homie would just sit down all day and just bust out page after page. Right. Insane. Insane. So let's talk about you. I want to
look at his work before Fantastic Four. I mean, all horror books and all the stuff he did in
the romance. I mean, he romance books.
Romance stuff, the war stuff, Captain America. I mean, this guy had a full career before he went to Marvel and started FF and everything else. And we know what he did there. And then what he did at DC after he left.
Yes. And then he returned back to Marvel. And, and then after that, independent labels started picking him up.
Right. And then he did more stuff. Devil Dinosaur. And, And, that's when he did the Eternals. And then he wound up doing all kinds of stuff for them. So,
great stuff, man. But we're talking about a workhorse like yourself, too, because you've been on the grind for a minute. So let's talk about the journey of you stepping in. So here you are as a kid, right? You fell in love with Thor, Marvel joins, Kirby, Buscema, all the bad boys, thanks to Mama, taking you and with. So when did you find your tribe, if you will? Did you find the tribe ever?
No, well, as a kid, you grow up in an Italian family, you want to be an artist. They tell you you're out of your mind because they think you back
you're gonna cut off your ear and shit.
My father, he's like, oh, you want to draw flowers with the girls? He said, he didn't want me to be an artist because he wanted, in those days it was blood, sweat, and tears. It was old school, children of the depression, But I wanted to be an art. You want to be an artist, and it kept me out of trouble. So I just used to sit and draw a lot. And then when I decided I wanted to get into comics, Al, they weren't having any of it, man. I went in every portfolio line. I went to every publisher. I did the con in New York. I went to every company there was, and Continuity and Now and Marvel and everyone. You're told, go to New York, meet with they told me, forget about it. The stuff your work is too disturbing.
Oh my gosh. It is your family.
Hey. And then at some point, when you stand in enough of those lines, you either get motivated to say, all right, look, I'm going to shuffle the deck and do my own thing. I was bartending at the time. I was a landscaper. I was a roofer. You got to eat. You do whatever. But I said, look, man, wanting to be an artist is like running off and joining the circus. The circus don't need you, man. You need the circus. So I said, I'm just going to do it myself. What do I got to lose? I mean, desktop publishing got a lot less expensive after 2000 because things, the technology changed. You could go to a printer and order 50 copies, 100 copies. Before that, if you didn't have a print run of 50,000, they wouldn't talk to you.
No
And
one
it
wanted
had
to
to be
talk to
black
you.
and white. It had to be black and white. But I saw guys producing their own book. I saw the Image guys jumped ship. They went and started Image. I saw what Billy Tucci was doing. I saw what a lot of other guys were doing. And I said, hey, man, what the hell do I got to lose?
Wonderful. I love that you took that approach. Now, when you took that approach and those steps to say, okay, I'm gonna do this on my own,
Yeah.
did you get educated or did you just throw yourself into the fire pit, if you will?
Well, you get your ass handed to you pretty quick. I mean, I mean, because there's a lot to learn of just deadline, getting it out, dealing with printers, and you just make it up. You move as you go along. I was lucky where a good friend of mine who's a New Yorker, Brooklyn boy, Buzz, Aldrin Awe, he was the inker on Atomica. So he was a dear friend of mine. So when I approached him, I said, hey, Buzz, I need somebody to help me with this to kind of give it a slicker look. Can you ink it for me? And he was like, sure. And so I approached it from that point of view, and his inks gave the word. I was, you're insecure. You want to be sure you're delivering a professional product. So I worked with that. I found a couple of colorists, Beth Sotelo and Christina Strain, and they did great work. They were working over at Aspen Comics at the time. And it's like anything else. You approach freelancers and you go, hey, this is how much money I got. My budget was this. My budget was that. I saved my dough ahead of time.
Nice.
And I asked Alex Ross to do a cover. He's a friend of mine. He said, sure, when do you need it? Because I had no delusions that doing an indie title, people were going to give it a shot.
So wait. Alex was one of your boys. You're like, yo, can you do something for me? Nice.
Yeah, no.
How did you meet Alex? How did you get acclimated?
There's a local, I mean, I'll back up. I'm sorry. There's a local group of Chicago comic artists.
Okay.
Angel Medina, Alex Ross, I'm forgetting Jill Thompson, Tony Akins, guys that were working in the business. So we we met at a local comic store. We start talking. Alex was already Alex. He was already Galactus, because he had done Marvels and he was working at Kingdom Come. And then he asked me, because we were just friends, he asked me, hey, could I pose for him to be Captain Marvel in Kingdom Come, because he shoots, he does a lot of photo reference. So I was like, Captain Marvel, you mean the guy with the little cape? Yeah, I thought Captain Marvel at Marvel, the cool guy, not the one from the television show. So I'm like, Captain Marvel, what the hell are you going to do with him? And he's like, oh, he's a character in this new book I'm doing, Kingdom Come, blah, blah, blah.
So you were the photo model for that? Oh, so everybody, we're talking to the real Shazam.
And then Power of Hope. And then they haunted me at the cons for years with that, man, asking me to, hey, Billy Batson, and hey, say the magic word and all that bullshit. I'm like, yeah, okay. But it was flattering. So I was like, why not? But with Alex, I just said, hey, man, I need a hook. I need a reason to give these comic stores a reason to buy this thing, because otherwise it's just this artist nobody heard of coming out of right field. So he's like, sure, when do you need it? And then that's where the first cover came from. So I was off and running. I mean, you need help, man. You got to ask for help.
Oh, I love that. You're not afraid to. So before we start getting into that, let me show the awesome trailer that you have on your Kickstarter. I mean, the little video. So let's go share that real quick. Actually, I always do this. I don't know why I always do this, but I always do this. This is what I do. All right, so here we go. That's the right one. Yes, it is. Okay, let's go ahead and peep this, folks, because this is fire. I love that cover.
Yeah, that's the Alex play. Yeah. My name's Sal Abbinanti. I'm the artist and creator of Atomika and The Hostage. Atomika is the modern 20th century god of the Soviet Union, because a god is only as strong as his worship. And the mythological gods of Russia are now dying. So they want their power back, and the only way they can achieve that is by eliminating Atomika. The 12-issue story arc is basically Atomika's journey through the different regions of the Soviet Union, eliminating the mythological gods of Russia. Growing up in the 70s, I was a huge Jack Kirby fan. I kind of filtered my love for Jack Kirby through the idea of the Soviet Union being this evil empire. And I did 2 separate trades, but this is everything. This is the big Megillah. This is the Atomika love fest of all the covers, all the back covers, all the pinups, the first 12 issues. It's like, everything, all the mistakes I made are kind of rectified with this. And it's a labor of love for mine. So to see it in this omnibus form and to finally check this off and put it to bed, so to speak, is very rewarding. For reward, we felt it was important always to have the entire omnibus package, the entire 12 issues, all the covers, all the art. We also felt that a lot of these covers and a lot of these back covers deserved kind of their own treatment. So that's why we want to offer a lithograph package. We're doing a series of Atomika bookmarks with some of the great art that's in the book from all these different artists that contributed. This is my second Kickstarter. My first was The Hostage. I'm an independent publisher. I'm an indie comic publisher. That's all I can do. That's the only thing that I know. I think you're really going to enjoy what you get and what you see. And I'm hoping you give it a shot.
Just wow, right? Gorgeous artwork, gorgeous looking book. So explain to people. I mean, we got a little bit there, but Atomika, why go that route with a creation of a man-made god? Again, you know, that's the kind of shit that I was into then, and still it really attracted me. I'm like, wow. So just reading the synopsis then, I was like, oh, okay, so this already sounds wild. Man-made gods, why? So I ain't already read most of the story, so but go ahead, brother, because I love it.
Growing up in the 70s, because I'm an old guy. Russia was always the evil empire. They were always the big bad bear. They were the one that all the political cartoons were about. That they were this. So I always thought it was a tremendous place for a setting for a book. It'd be a cool place to put a book because I was a big New Gods guy. New Gods was the book that made me want to be an artist. Jack Kirby's New Gods, and then I just growing up in a big Catholic family. People don't go to church anymore, man. Technology's become our religion now with our phones and our computers and everything else. So I thought, hey, technology, Atomika is a metaphor for the God of the 20th century, which is technology. So I thought, hey, that's Mother Russia's son is technology. So the more I started to kind of invest, do research on the Soviet Union, that's what they did. They literally told their people, they said, look, religion is outlawed. It's counterproductive to the state. The state is your religion. We'll solve all your problems. You don't need a God. We're your God. So I thought that's who he is. He's the son of Mother Russia. So they created a God, so that's kind of where it came from. And then when I researched Russian mythology, I thought, man, it's just like what Marvel did with Thor, where you had Greek mythology. So all these characters in Russian mythology, now they're dying because Atomika is the new guy. He's the god of the 20th century. So he has to battle them because they want their worship back. And again, it's not a religious book. It's not political. It's just a cool setting for a book, I thought. And that's kind of where the idea came from.
I am digging the smack out of this because I'm a big fan of Neil Gaiman's American Gods, right? And I could see it's that same type of narrative. It's the old guard,
mm-hmm.
and then the new guard, and the new guard talking about your ways are like played already.
Yeah,
you're done. I mean, I am the future. But then, just like there, I see in Atomika that he has how is it some like emotions towards, like he starts thinking, am I really doing something here? What am I really doing here? I mean, here is a god that's able to destroy past gods, but even he's questioning his own actions. Like, holy smoke, it becomes such a moral dilemma.
Well, it's and again, when the more research I did, the more I discovered that it wasn't a fairy tale. That's what the Soviet Union they dynamited and bulldozed the churches. They told their people, no.
Wait a minute. You telling me literally they blew up and destroyed churches?
Yes.
Oh, wow,
Soviet Union said that's counterproductive to the state. The state is your god.
And it's done.
Yes.
1984 for real.
Yeah. No, the state is your religion. We are your religion. So the more research I did about, I'm like, they literally created God. They said, we're your God. And so that's kind of where Atomika came from. He became the god of the 20th century, which is technology. Because, we were scared shitless of them in the 50s with Sputnik and the missile crisis and everything else. So growing up with that, I thought, man, what better place to create, the evil empire than, in the Soviet Union.
Oh yeah, and talk about it, because here's the Mercury Comics, right? Which started from issue 5 forward when they moved from
Yeah,
Speakeasy, right?
that was basically just me.
Okay.
They spelled my name wrong in the ad a couple of times, and I said, man, these guys don't know what they're doing. So
What?
yeah,
They
speakeasy,
misspelled your name on an ad for the book. Wow.
speakeasy were a good bunch of guys, independent guys, but then after a while they
With
couldn't
no
find
editor.
they couldn't find their ass with a funnel. These guys.
Oh
I said,
shit.
nah, man, I need to do my own thing. I said, and it was just Mercury Comics is basically just my kitchen table. That's
Do you have a picture of this table that is the factory that
right. No, it just literally means I'm the guy that says, yeah, okay, sure. How much is it going to cost? And then you wind up paying for it.
you have a phone and a laptop. That's the
That's
office.
it. And sweat equity, you're basically doing all the work. So, that's kind of where it comes from. So putting out an indie title is 99% just you doing all the work.
Yeah. You're wearing multiple hats. I mean, that's the life of an independent creator.
Well, the unfortunate part for a lot of indie creators is they put the book out and then they don't realize, okay, how am I going to get stores to buy it? Because only like maybe 30% of comic stores will buy independent titles. They don't like, because look, if they don't, they got to keep the lights on. If they don't sell the book, they got to eat it. It's not like back in the day they could return it to Diamond and get credit for it.
Yeah, and what I've heard is disgusting from creators when they go to a shop. Oh well, if you're not on Diamond or Lunar or whatever the other one is, you know what? We're not gonna carry you. I'm like, that's kind of stupid because you're gonna regret it later on.
Yeah, but Al, even with Diamond, you go through Diamond.
Oh, they rape you.
But what happens is you put an ad in Diamond in the catalog, in the previous catalog, and then it goes all the way in the back because a lot of comic stores, man, they want DC, they want Marvel. It's like brand loyalty. They want Marlboro, they want Coca-Cola, they don't want Yum Yum Cola.
They don't want Camel.
they don't want RC and Newport. They want the main brands. So at least with crowdfunding and with indie stuff like this, you can have a video, you can get out there and show people the book, and because you know how it is, I know in 30 seconds whether I like a book or not. I flip through it and go, it's either for me or like, you know what, it's not my thing. So at least with this, I could show some pages and I could say, hey, look, this is what it is. If people aren't into it, I can live with that. But with Diamond, you got one page, and the comic store owner looks and he keeps flipping. And so, and some stores, they never even get to the indie section.
Of course not.
DC and they're done. That's it.
I've been to shops like that is predominantly big too. And then I'm like, where's your indie section? And they show me this very, very small, your spinner rack is bigger than that section.
That's right.
And it's very sad. This is why I give a shout out to shops. At least when I lived in Massachusetts, Rubber Chicken Comics. Great independent section.
Yeah.
And they support indie.
We got Chicago Comics, we got Challengers Comics, big independent supporters right from the jump. You don't got to go in there with your hat in your hand and get them to, and some of these store owners, they don't even want to listen to your bullshit.
No, they don't.
They're like, leave it. Let me take a look at it.
Yeah, and then they can't get mad if I start going to an online retailer that has the indie books I want, or if I start buying it straight from you. Right. Because the shop, as much as I say support your LCS, the LCS also needs to support our taste. Know your fans and get the good stuff and put them on to the greatness of independent books. I mean, look at the beauty of this art here. Look at this effing cover just right there. That's gangster.
And then the thing about it, the saddest thing about it is, let me tell you something, man. We need indie creators more than ever. Because Marvel and DC, the branding is getting narrower and narrower of what is out there.
Of course, they want to keep their brands, Sal. They want to keep their characters.
It's all about the licensing. They want to control the characters because that's where they make money from. And when long after you and I are gone, Captain America is still going to be out there selling underwear and T-shirts.
And he's still going to look like he's 40 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's why we need indie publishers. Anybody who wants to put out a comic or a writer or whatever, I tell people all the time, I go, man, I love when they ask me, how do I get into comics? I go, man, don't ask me. I couldn't get in. Marvel and DC didn't want me. They wouldn't let me in their party.
You know how you got in? You opened your own fucking door. You did your own shit. Yeah.
Do your own book, because at least what you do is you shuffle the deck. You create your own party. You say you create a situation where at least you could say, you know what? as an artist, if you don't like my work, I can live with it, but at least you put it out there.
Yeah.
Anybody who bitches about comics and criticizes comics, I always say, hey, man, where's your book?
Thank you. I do the same thing when people come at me with any bullshit. I'm like, okay, my first question is, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
And then I don't hear an answer. I'm like, all right.
Get out there and do it, man. I mean, it's not easy. I'm not saying you're going to get your ass handed to you. I mean, because you're not going to, people think, oh, you're going to be independently wealthy. It's like, nah, man. I mean, why do you think I still do whatever on the side to supplement my art? That's why I work with Alex. I work with Sienkiewicz. I mean, I was a bartender for 12 years to put out Atomika, but I knew that it's like, look, if you either you want to do it or you don't want to do it. You don't really have a choice as an artist. You got to do it.
Yeah, and look at the beauty here. So who's your team here? Because look at the lettering too. Because ever since I spoke to Janice Chang, I'm starting to look of lettering boxes and placements and all that. I'm like, yo, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Who's the letterer?
That was Dave Sharp. Dave Sharp
nice. He's sharp.
Yeah, Dave's a really good letterer in the business, and he was when we put Atomika out, he was just getting started in the business, and now he's like he does a ton of books at Marvel, ton of books
he's
at
a whiz,
yeah.
And beautiful. Oh, look at this panel alone. I mean, what was in your head with this panel, bro? Because this is sick.
There was a lot. I didn't want it to look just like an American guy drawing a Russian comic book. I wanted to so I looked at a lot of Russian industrial pictures and Russian industrial type, impressionist stuff from like the turn of the century, their old movie posters and things like that. And they had a tremendous style that didn't look like anything else. And so that's kind of the vibe I wanted to give the book, was to let it give that industrial feel,
You gave it. It definitely was a very industrial book. That it really felt like it was heavy, but the coloring, just the story, it's fire. Again, I'm happy, and just in going back and doing the research to see that, like, yo, I was buying this back in 2005. Holy shit! Wow. I mean, what a journey. We're 16 years in, going on 17, and then you moved to Mercury from issue 5, right, and 6, right, and then from there, after 6, 7, and 12 was more like almost like a one per year up until about 2011, right?
Yeah, yep.
So basically, from that point on, from the time it ended, now we're at a 10-year anniversary mark. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's
been a journey, bro.
It was one of those things where, I wanted it to be. I put the trades out. But the trades kind of got fractured. People had the second trade. They didn't have the first trade. And then you remember that's when the absolute editions were coming out. Everybody was buying it. And I was like, man, I ain't nobody going to buy no $100 absolute edition. I'm trying to sell individual comics because, I was old school. I liked issues.
Me too.
Trades. I like to put out individual issues because that's what I grew up with. But the whole business was leaning towards trades in those days. And everybody's like, hey, I'm waiting for the trade. I'm like,
yeah,
what trade? I can't sell individual issues and you guys, so finally I did it. Then when the two trades came out, they're like, well, where's the absolute edition? I'm like, what absolute edition?
Oh my God. Where's the artist edition? And where's the silver edition? Where's the Bible edition?
$100 each. I'm like, ain't nobody going to buy $100, independent book. So I said, all right, let me see. And then the business changed. And when COVID hit, it forced everybody to kind of pivot, to market their products differently. And that's when I saw what Jimmy Palmiotti was doing, and I saw what Aspen was doing, and Simon Bisley, different guys were on Kickstarter. And I thought, hey,
Jimmy is a boss on Kickstarter. I mean, if you're going to talk to anyone, I really think it's Jimmy, because he's been so successful. He delivers on time. Yeah. He's the man, yo.
Yep. I reached out to Jimmy. I reached out to different people because I had no delusions how important. And the most important thing that they all told me was order fulfillment. That if you're going to play games and you're not going to meet your goals and you're going to offer a product and then not, because people are sick of being burned on Kickstarter where they buy a product and they never see it.
Homie, I've been waiting, I think at this point, 10 years for Rob Liefeld's Brigade #1. He's offered me my money back and I'm like, no, you keep telling people you're mailing out a fucking book. Yeah, bro. I was just being nice then because my image nostalgia. So I did it and I'm still waiting. And I've been offered my money back. And then, but I get emails. Oh, I'm sending books out. Oh, word. So I don't want my money back. Where is this fucking miraculous book? Because I have not seen one picture of this shit on social media. I mean, if Al Mega gets this book, I'm gonna be taking like 50 million pictures with it. Like, oh my god, I finally got it.
Yeah, no,
you know,
man. People don't want to hear your bullshit no more.
I don't want to. He got hacked twice. Everything. It's just no more bullshit. Give me my fucking book.
Just tell them it's gonna be late. If you're gonna have a problem, that's why. See, my biggest problem with because I like to support other people's Kickstarter campaigns too. Because as an indie guy, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I look and I see, but nothing disappoints me more than when I look at a Kickstarter page and I look at the sample art. I go, they haven't worked. They haven't finished this book yet. They're waiting for the money to go. Then now they're going to sit down and they're going to produce a graphic novel. You know how fucking long that's going to take? You guys, you got to get the work done before you go to Kickstarter. Get it. I want to see the pages. Where are they? Oh, well, my girlfriend left me. My dog died. People don't want to hear your bullshit.
I was gassy,
Yes, especially in comic books. We have people that want to put up with your bullshit. Have the thing finished before you get onto Kickstarter.
Thank you. Right, the Kickstarter should only be to fulfill
Yes.
The printing, fulfillment done.
Yeah. And then that's why Kickstarter is getting a lot more hardcore with, all right, how you going to deliver the book? Let me see your page.
As they should. Thank you, Kickstarter.
What's the financial situation like? So in case you screw people over, they can all get a refund, give them their money back, because people are tired of getting taken down a dark alley, and then you turn around and 2 years later you're going, man, where the hell's my brigade number 1?
10 years later.
10 years later.
Brother, I mean, I'm still gonna wait. I'm gonna do a whole podcast dedicated to that damn book when it comes in, and it better be good, because that shit better be worth its weight in gold. I swear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But look at this, more pages. Yeah, and what's up, man? With this style of, like, he is like uber like diesel, bro. If even I tried to get that muscular, I couldn't.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah,
no, but I love it.
That's a statue. That's like a high angle shot of a statue, like a monument to him.
Gotcha. I love it, man. I mean, just look at the people too. It's like, and I love how they emote so differently. Some are in awe, some are in fear, and it's just told through there. It's like the people don't know how to react, and then all of a sudden here they have fake smiles on the other panel. It's like,
right, yeah.
It's so much fear, because again, it's Atomika, but then it's also anger, right?
Yeah. Well, that's him as a kid. I mean, Atomika was kind of like Christ in the way that he was a normal kid, and then when he got to a certain age, he realized he was Atomika. So he's the son of Mother Russia. So this is him as a kid, and then he discovers he's Atomika.
Yeah, man. But look how angry. It kind of worries me, like that movie with that evil superpowered kid that came out not too long ago.
Oh yeah,
that gave me the whole what if Superman went bad. I was like, holy smokes, bro.
Scare the shit out of you.
I love it. Oh, and look at it. It's good. And what type of coloring, or what's your process with the coloring? It's gorgeous, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate. I worked with these two gals, Beth Sotelo and Christina Strain. They were doing a lot of really cool, bright, new stuff, because you remember the computer coloring was just really starting to get in its, but
in that time,
early computer coloring was too much. They were overdoing it, and I really liked what Stewart was doing over with Hellboy, where he was doing more of a muted color, let the story speak, don't over like render the figures, not too many highlights. So I just told them, I gave them real basic notes, and they went to town, and I said less is more. And then this was kind of the vibe of the book was not as much color, more saturated colors.
Yeah, I see this as a tattoo right there. Just that first page. That's a tattoo creature right there. That is amazing. Balls to the wall. Those
were like the Napoleonic soldiers that were frozen in the ice.
Oh shit! Nice. Yeah. You have a sick brain. No wonder your family was like, "Yo, you."
Yeah, no. You tell them you want to be an artist, man. That's like saying, it's like you want to join the circus. They're not big on that.
It's too crazy. Too crazy, man. But I love it. I mean, where do you dig deep though for the inspiration? I mean, for the design.
I'll be honest, Atomika, most of it was just I couldn't get in the comic business. I couldn't get arrested, man. They would not let me be in the comic business.
What did you try? Because I want people to understand the journey, because you worked hard. So where were you trying, and what was the biggest obstacles that they were kind of giving you?
Well, back in the day, you remember, I mean, the whole business is in New York. So I went to New York. I went to Marvel. I went to DC. I went to every con. I stood in every portfolio line, met with Top Cow, met with Dark Horse. I met with all those little shit independent publishers that are all gone now. Of every portfolio line of every asshole now who's selling Storm Windows, who was an editor at the time, telling you how to draw, and he never drew it in his life, but yet he was telling me, oh, no, Sal, go work on your perspective or whatever. But after a while, it starts stinging to where you keep asking the girl out and she keeps saying no. Finally, you just say, all right, forget it, man. This ain't happening. The writing's on the wall. And so I realized, hey, look, I approached some friends of mine who are artists, and I said, what do you see? And they're like, Sal, forget it. This is not what Marvel and DC are looking for. They're looking for a house style that they want people that draw like Jim Lee and like whoever's popular. That's who they want, because that's what sells. They claim it, whether it's the music business or movies or whatever, people say they want what's new, and yet you give them what's new, and it scares the shit out of them. They don't want what's new because
they're not bold enough to be the first to take the step. That's what it really is, fear.
So finally, I just said, I got two choices. Either I'm just going to give it up, and go make a living doing something else, or I'm going to do it myself. And so I said, what do I got to lose? I was bartending. I was living alone in a studio apartment. I was 30 cents short of a quarter. What the fuck do I have to lose? There's nothing more dangerous than a desperate guy. I was desperate. So I said, the hell with it. I'll put it on myself. What's the worst they're going to do to me? And then finally you create, you change the dynamic a little bit to where you say, all right, you won't let me in your party. I'll have my own party. You won't let me come in. Then what the hell with it? I'm tired of asking you. And I got tired of Marvel giving me bullshit. And I went in and I did mock proposals. I did shit on spec. I did stuff for, Swamp Thing. And I created these. Wouldn't even look at them. They wouldn't even look at them.
Really?
All these guys that, Sal, we really like your work. Yeah, well, then why aren't you giving me any work?
That's all right. Screw them, because we have the community that believes in you. Because look at
this.
Your Kickstarter, bro. You wanted 25 racks, right? You're up to 43 with 3 days to go. Yes, Marvel. You see?
Yeah.
This is what people want. Come on, DC. You understand? This is what people want.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I tell creators, I say, man, do your own thing. If you try to I wanted to go in the front door, man. I wanted to draw Luke Cage. I wanted to draw the guy,
you want to draw your heroes. I understand.
They said, forget it. They said, forget it. And that's all right. At some point it's like, but that's where Atomika came from. You put that angst, put that frustration, put it into your work. Look at the great graffiti art of New York of the 70s that came out on those cars, right? Well, you know what that was? That was the angst. Look where rap music was inspired and came from, where it was created in New York City, in the Bronx, and in Brooklyn. Where'd that come from? That came from the anxiety and the angst of the 70s. That's where great art comes from. Great art comes from being pissed off, man. Great art comes from getting kicked in the ass. It doesn't come from little Lord Fauntleroy with the cigarette holder. He ain't gonna do shit.
Truth, I love this homie right here, man. Chicago, New York vibe right here. We're vibing on the same level. I'm digging it, bro.
It's like, anybody. It's like, if you want to do it, just do it, man. Just do it.
Get her done.
It's not like jumping out of an airplane, where if you fuck it up, you die.
And I'm not jumping out of a plane because I'm not that nuts.
It's not like you're working in an ER where if you don't know what you're doing, the guy dies on the table and you go, man, I don't know what I was doing.
I was just eating a donut 2 minutes ago. You want me to stop or what?
You're drawing a comic book. So it's like, just put your heart and soul into it, man. Just lay it out. Just go, here it is. If you don't like it, all right, the next one will be better.
But this is amazing. You've reached 8 stretch goals already. This is the 9th, and I think people want to see this. This is dope. Look at this. So we got the bookmarks. We got a holiday special. Yeah. We got enamel keychains.
People love that stuff, man.
We got trading cards, bro. I am a sucker for a trading card, bro. Holy shit, you got David Mack to do a trading card, bro. I love that artist.
David Mack. I knew David back in the day because he was putting Kabuki out.
Yes,
we were in Artist Alley together, and man, I approached him, and he's like, "Man, just let me know what you need." And
say a word.
He did a great cover for me. You know, the late Michael Turner. He did a great cover for me. You know, he was another guy that just was like, "Hey, man, let me know what you need," and he did the provide.
But I want to say with that one, it's just fuck cancer. Damn it, yo! It's taking so many great and talented people away from us, man.
He was the sweetest guy in the world too, man.
Oh man, I can't imagine.
I don't think enough people realize he was super talented, but man, even a nicer guy. I mean, the nicest guy you could meet. You know, Bill Sienkiewicz.
Oh shit!
Yeah. He's another guy. Hey man, let me know when you need it. You know, Alex did the trade cover for me. You know, and so
look how sexy that fucking hardcover is. Holy shit, bro!
So it turned out really nice.
It's gorgeous, but I'm a fan, and I'm thinking. I mean, this is proper presentation for Atomika as the character and the story that you've created deserves. This is great. Oh my gosh,
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's Tim Bradstreet right there. That one, Tim Brad. You know,
woo, damn, bro.
I don't know what happened.
How the hell did you get with this whole circle? I'm saying, I know you got this club. Well, how did you jump into that club? I'm like, damn.
No, man. Back in the day, I was doing like three cons a month. I was doing shows. Shit. I was set up in Artist Alley. You know, doing my thing, doing my little dance, trying to get work. And so I would hit up a lot of guys. I'd say, hey,
you're just a networker by nature. I love it.
You just say, hey, you know, if you need a lot of these, you got to hit up way more because a lot of guys are going to say, man, I can't. I don't.
You got to pay the numbers. You hit up 100, you get lucky if 5 hits you up.
There was some that I wanted that were like, no, man, I can't. Blah. But that's okay because the guys that I really, really wanted, you got to kind of know who to talk to. You know who guys that understand what you're doing. And don't go to them with your hat in your hand. Just say, hey, man, this is how much I got. What can you do for me? And some of them will shock you. They'll be like, cool, let's do something. I really like what you're trying to do. Other guys will tell you, no, man, I'm sorry. I'm not interested. You know, okay.
But again, you never know unless you ask.
It's a cool community. Yes, you absolutely should ask. It's a cool community where people, you know, artists are like, you respect each other or doing the same type of thing. And, you know, you do me a favor, I do you a favor kind of thing. So I was fortunate enough to have some cool guys help me out.
I see here 2 different inspirations. I see Kirby, but I also see H.R. Geiger.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge Kirby guy. Yeah, but I also, like I said, I didn't want it to feel like an American guy drawing a Russian comic book. I wanted it to feel
very Geiger with some of the artwork here. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great job, bro.
I wanted to do something different.
How long were you drawing before you felt comfortable enough to want to put your stuff out there?
Well, I don't think you're ever really completely comfortable because you know you're going to get your ass handed to you because there's always going to be critics, but that's okay because you know, it is what it is. Your work is, you're always going to look back at older work and think, man, you know, I've evolved and your work gets better, hopefully. But probably some of my earlier samples that I did at Marvel, I thought were pretty good. I look back at them now and go, man, they weren't that good at all.
Yeah, like I understand Marvel.
You know, you look at stuff and go, man, my stuff is the shits. And then you look back and go, man, no wonder they didn't hire me. But then other times you just say, hey, you know, let me try. Let me do it.
Yo, Sal, you're fucking me up here. I'm looking at this, and I'm a person that's learning about crypto. Are you about to create some Atomika crypto?
No.
I'm just speculating here because I want to do it.
That's a physical coin. That's a physical.
Oh, word?
Yeah,
Gorgeous, bro. What?
Physical coin. Yeah. That's another one of those things that when I started to explore Kickstarter and you do the stretch goals, the more people I talked to, I realized from my last Kickstarter campaign is that supporters really love the perks. They love all that stuff.
We love the silly stuff. This is so awesome looking.
They love it all. So the more guys I approached, when I was talking to Frank over at Aspen, he goes, man, we just did a coin. We did a trading coin. And they love it. It's one of the most popular things we did. And I'm like, what? Really?
A coin?
A coin, yeah. So, because the companies that you approach, the printers that do the bookmarks and the trading card and all of that, and the pins and the keychain. They got all this stuff now, and I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's go ahead.
I wish I had it. I actually have.
I'll send you one. I'll send you one.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
I have a zombie coin.
No, we just. I mean, see, the good thing about this now is you don't have to make. In the old days, to make a coin, you'd have to print up 10,000 of them. And you're like, great, what the hell am I going to do with 10,000 coins? Now
you put that shit in circulation and make it worth something.
Now you could print 500, couple of hundred, enough to cover the stretch goals, enough to cover the campaign. You just tell the guy, hey, how many do you? He's like, how many you want? You want a couple of hundred? You go, sure. And then you print extra in case ones get lost. You want to throw them in with other people that supported you and stuff like that. So when they told me a coin, I was like, are you kidding me? I've got people out that have supported it that said, I just want the coin. And I'm like, really? I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean,
we're going to see you on an infomercial on the Home Shopping Network talking about, look at these Atomika coins.
There's no method. There's no rhyme or reason. As soon as you think you got this shit figured out, people that will email me and go, what's with the coin? And I'm like, okay,
You're like, all right, whatever you want, guys. I got you.
If you get you to look at my book, I'll make 2 coins. I'll make 3 coins,
I'll start making change, fucking dimes, nickels, quarters. Let's do it. So okay, so the cards. Oh, there goes the Michael Turner one. Beautiful. I could tell immediately.
Yeah,
beautiful. Well, so it's a 6-card set.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do a full card set as well. So
really? How many?
Yeah, I'm not saying anything till you, but when you put the book, it's gonna be in there. We're doing maybe 20 different cards.
Oh,
I told them, I said, guys, what else am I gonna do with these covers? Once they're gone, they're gone. I got to move on and do new stuff. So I'm like, as long as I got all these cool images, we may as well just do a whole card set. That's Tim Bradstreet. Darwin
that's
Cook
pretty sick though. This is sick.
Darwin Cook did a great piece for me, and the late Darwin, right there. That's Darwin Cook. And he gave that to me after the book was already out. He goes, hey Sal, I got your Atomika piece. I go, Darwin, the book's already done, man. So I sat on that piece, all this time. And then when we re-released it, I said, man, we got to do something with Darwin's piece because the guy, he's a great guy. He passed away, unfortunately. Another guy with another cancer,
fuck you, cancer.
Fucking cancer. Yeah. So I said, hey, I got to do something with Darwin's piece. So that's why it was important for us to get it out.
Amazing, yo. Yeah. Amazing. You have something very special here. Look at this thing. God damn, yo, this motherfucker just keeps
He's a guy where I'm like, hey, Bill, man, where's the cover? And he goes, oh, shit, you're right. And then he hands it to me at a con. He goes, hey, man, I got your cover for you.
Really? At a con? Oh, here you go.
He throws it down on it. Holy shit. I go, he threw it down like it was like a scrap. And I go, man, Bill, my God, look at this.
Bill, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is a baby.
I'm ready to go become a plumber after I saw that. I go, gee, what am I doing? Who am I kidding with my bullshit? Look at this work.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, fucking amazing. And there goes Turner. Wow. Rest in peace, brother.
Yeah, that was a character, Pravada character. It was like the Russian Wonder Woman. And I said, hey man, at the time, I said, oh man, I gotta talk to Mike Turner. And then I talked to this guy, Frank, who's a good friend of ours, and he's like, oh man, he's real busy, Sal. And then sometimes you hit these guys right around certain times of the year, like the holidays or tax time. You'd be surprised how many creators all of a sudden go, what do you need?
That's the secret, folks. If you want work done, hit them up before Christmas.
Oh, man, especially English guys, especially in English, because they get their ass kicked with income taxes. So when you hit them up in March, like Glenn Fabry, he's like, yeah, Sal, I don't know, I'm busy. I'm doing preacher covers, blah, blah, blah. He called me up. He goes, at 2 a.m, hey, you fucking yank, when do you need that cover?
Shit.
Simon Bisley, that guy. I mean, you remember Simon when he was doing all that. I mean,
my thing about Simon, I met him at a convention in Boston Comic Con. And I think I didn't realize this. I have my friend Dave Elliott is on my team. We do International Comic Crusaders. He's a world-class creator himself, right?
Yeah.
So I meet Simon, and I swear to God, he's mumbling. I'm just nodding my head. I'm like, I don't understand a word. Is he like, I don't understand a word. So I remember telling Dave, like, yo, I met Simon. I couldn't understand a word He goes, you know what it was, Al? I promise you, he was in a pub, fucking probably 3 hours before.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
No,
and
he's
I was like,
called
damn.
me from the pub. I
Oh,
mean,
shit.
at
Right.
2 in the morning, he calls me at 2 in the morning, and he's like, yeah. He calls me, he's swearing at me, calling
That's
me.
how he sounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
"Ah,
what
you
the fuck are
fucking
you telling
yank."
me?
Everything was a fucking yank. "Ah, you fucking yank," and this and that. 'Cause so I said, he goes, "Hey, tell me about this cover. Tell me about this cover." And because he did the cover for number 9, I want to say. Number 9 is Bisley's cover. And I was always a huge Bisley fan. All the great stuff he did at Heavy Metal, and my God, all those great Lobo
And
covers.
the Lobos, bro.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
fucking love
amazing,
Lobos. He did.
amazing. I mean, he's like a legendary artist. Right there in the middle, that's him. The one.
Which this one? This one.
No, keep going. Right in the center. That's him. That's
This
him
one.
right there. Yeah,
That's what I want to show people.
yeah.
Let's go see this beautiful
So
bad boy.
he goes.
Okay.
That's
Ooh,
no,
sexy.
that's not him. That's number 9. That's Simone Bianchi, number 9.
Number 9 is Bianchi. All right. So then we have to go next.
Yeah, I call him up. Well, he calls me up because I called him. I left him a message, and
Why did he go there? Well, that's what bothers me.
he goes. Well, tell me about. Yeah, it's right there on the top.
I clicked that, and this is where it wants to take me.
It goes to a different one.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah, that's it.
11. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
so he goes to me. He goes, tell me about this character. Tell me about him. I said, and I go. He goes, oh shit. Okay, go ahead. And I go, all right, because I could tell he's drunk off his ass. But he's such a great guy. So he goes. I go. He's naked. He's just naked. He's wrapped in the Soviet flag. He's the god of Russia. Do whatever you want. I'm not going to art direct you. You're way too talented a guy for me to art direct any of these guys. I just said, do what you want to do. He goes, all right. Can I give him a big cock? Can I make his hammer the cock? His cock is a hammer, and he hits people with it. And I go, Simon. How am I gonna? I can't put it in the catalog.
This is not Dick Atomika. This is
I can't. No. They won't put the ad in the. I can't put the cover in the diamond catalog of a guy with a hammer for a cock. He goes, you fucking Yanks, you got no imagination. I go, how about the next cover? You do another cover where he's got a big hammer for a cock, but this one you can't do the hammer. No cocks. Simon, please. So he goes, I was gonna do a great piece for you, blah. And I said, all right. And then he hung up, and then he sent me that, and it's it's beautiful. So
so I just want to make sure, because since his legs are spaced out, you didn't use no eraser anywhere.
No. I told him, and I said, please don't. I hope he didn't send it to me.
For the love of God, please don't tell me.
Yeah, because I would have had to use it, because I wasn't gonna not use a Simon Bisley cover.
I hear you.
He really wanted to do. It would have been something cool. I said, Simon, how about the next time you do?
You know what though? Batman now beats to it, because now the back cock is infamous in Black Label.
Right, but Bisley was always that kind of guy. So
I think Bisley's probably angry. He's like, damn, I could have given you that cock prose before
That's
Batman.
What he told me. That's what he told me. Because you got no imagination. And I said, yeah, all right, you're right. I'm sorry, but I can't have a naked cover.
Listen, it's America. We can't, not yet. Over here, we still have too many prudes that would
be in the back of the catalog, and nobody orders from the back of the catalog.
And you're lucky if you even make the catalog with that cover. Right. I mean, I wouldn't be able to even post this on social. Comic Crusaders is like violating the rights right here. Like, why is this guy with a cock here? It's like
pretty much. So I said, okay, but him and Glenn Fabry did some amazing stuff too. I mean, the
names you're dropping, bro. I need to get a broom and a dustpan, because god damn, you have some great people.
Yeah,
I worked on this.
Well, I approached them, probably a year or two before I was going to get it going. I just started asking people just to see what would happen, and then sometimes, I wanted a few guys that I couldn't get, but I started with my heroes. I started with Gene Colan and Tony DeZuniga, and guys that I would see in Artist Alley that were my heroes, that were getting older, that not a lot, unfortunately, a lot of fans were not
ignoring.
They were ignoring it. A lot of cons weren't inviting them anymore, because they were inviting the younger guys, the more popular guys.
Sal, I'll break your heart here. I was at Boston Comic Con one year. I love Jimmy P. of course, and he had a huge line. I mean, huge.
Yeah.
You know who was right behind him with 0 people at his table? Marv Wolfman.
Yeah. No,
I'm like,
it's
and then I was with one of my friends that loves comics and loves Marv.
yeah.
This guy wanted to cry.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've seen too much. I've seen a lot of that. I mean, I've seen guys at George Tuska. I saw at the end, John Romita Sr. did a piece for me. I mean, I hit up John Romita Sr.
What?
Yeah, he did a cover for me for the little ash can we did. And he's such a sweet man that I asked him, and I work with Alex, so I approached him that way, and he was all of a sudden he sent me this ink drawing. So
That's the only piece I didn't find, Sal, the ash can.
yeah, I mean,
How hard is it to find that ash can, to be honest? I mean, do you still have them?
yeah, oh yeah, no, it's still around. I mean, it's one of those things where it's definitely here. I'll send you an image of it, but it's an ink drawing. He didn't do obviously a full on one, because at that point he was like, man, I'm retired. I don't want to do this stuff anymore. I want to take it easy, and I respect it. So he sent me an ink drawing that was just like fantastic, and I had it colored digitally. So I was just like, hey, this is it.
Oh, hold on, let me put you right there on the main screen and do this. Oh, so classic. Yo.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was just an ink drawing, and I said, hey, is it okay? I'm gonna have it colored digitally. So he colored it digitally for me.
Wow.
And then it was just he was my hero, but he was retired. He's like, man, I don't want to do this stuff anymore. I'm taking it easy now. But he was nice enough to do it. But again, same with Alex Nino and Tony DeZuniga, these guys that I revered, that were now in Artist Alley, and they weren't getting a lot of attention anymore, and it would break my heart, But
yes, I get you. We're brothers here, but I feel you on that. There's so many people.
Gene Colan, I got to show you Gene Colan, because he was my hero. Gene Colan did.
Hold on.
Black and white, so I don't know if it's going to show up or not.
But it's not showing up too great. Yeah. I don't know if you have a light source there. That's kind of like, darn it. Send me the image. Send me that image, and I'll add it into the post.
And I wanted to give the character kind of a history, have it feel like different artists worked on it, so that it didn't just come out of right field. Steve Rude did a real nice piece. Yeah. But the ones that stick out the most are just the ones where it's like that helps sell the book, like what Alex did for me. And anybody who was willing to contribute on any level, believe me, I was grateful. I mean, some of the fan ones that people sent in, I posted, they were fantastic.
Well, there was a lot of fans. Again, this is the whole thing. I mean, this book was amazing. A shame that I had these issues early on, if you will. But I'm glad to see it now. And what I want to know now, before we close the show, is we have this edition coming out that's collecting the original story. Are we going to get anything new? Is there anything still?
Yeah. No, that's what I was saying. There's like 300. It's over 300 pages. And there's a lot of pieces in there. Like, for example, the Darwin Cook piece was never published. Ernie Chan did some pieces for me that are in there.
I saw that Ernie Chan when I was perusing here. I was like, Ernie Chan
did 2 pieces for me. Alex did 2. Bill Sienkiewicz did 2 covers. One of them is in there that was never published. Wow. So there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of supplemental, info in there and material in there. And Lucio Perillo did a piece for me that was never published. Mark Texiera did so there's a lot of supplemental things in there that I didn't have room for, or I got them after the book already came out. So I'm like, look, if I put this thing together, I got to put everything in there, because what else am I going to do with this stuff? So it was important to get it all in. And there's a lot of supplemental material, because this company, Darkwood, this publisher in Eastern Europe, published it as a hardcover. And they did a whole big section of all the Russian mythology characters that are in the book. And they did a fantastic job with it. So that's all in there. There's kind of a history of
so for right now, the Kickstarter edition, I have it. But if we wanted that originally, we have to get that other one to have the OG.
It wasn't published in the U.S. I mean, when they approached me a few years ago about doing it overseas, I thought, yeah, okay, sure. I never thought it was going to happen, but they did such a great job with it over there that when they sent it over, they said, hey, we got the English translation if you want to publish it. And I'm like, yeah, great. Where the hell am I going to publish it? And then COVID hit. And then I did my hostage Kickstarter. And I thought, man, if I could do that one, man, let me see what happens with Atomika. Because I got all this great over 300 page files of Atomika. Let me try it. And let me add all the extra stuff, that was never seen. And then that's kind of where this came about.
Good for you, kiddo. I mean, you've been around, man. You've been doing it. So last thing I want to leave everybody with, a piece of advice. I mean, you've been giving it about just keep going, do you, break down the doors. But overall, what's the best piece of advice you give anyone trying to just create something of
Put out your own book. Put out your own book, man.
Do it yourself.
You could do 10 copies. You could do 20 copies. You could do black and white. You could do it at Kinko's. At desktop publishing, my God, my son could do it. I mean, it's just about the sweat. Sitting down, create a story, lay it out, draw it yourself, get your buddy to help you, get other guys online, a guy who wants to be an inker, wants to be a colorist, wants to be a writer. Don't wait around for Marvel and DC to call you, man, because that, it ain't going to happen. If you're waiting around for them to let you draw the Ultimate Spider-Man, good luck. Because you see how it's getting, man. The business is getting narrower and narrower. But let me tell you something else. The business needs indie publishers more than ever. Yes. We need voices from Brooklyn, from Chicago, from California, from the suburbs to the urban city. I love when I see that shit. Characters about whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
If it's cool, people will buy it. If it's cool, I know I'll buy it. If it looks cool. If it comes from the heart and it's a story that only you know,
that's why I bought Atomika from the get. When I saw that beautiful red cover, I was like, oh.
And do what you know, man. Don't be Frank Sinatra singing Stevie Wonder. Do your own shit, do your own book about shit that only you know about, and it's going to kick ass. It's not going to be some old regurgitated bullshit about your version of Wolverine. We saw that shit already. Do your own stuff, man,
Agreed. That's real talk, folks. This is the great Sal Abbinanti. Please, folks, I've been showing it off. Let me show it off one last time. So stay up to date. Follow Sal right there. And his partner, Andrew. All right. And Comics Mercury. All right. Please show some love there. But most importantly, with 3 days to go, let's get Sal over that 50 mark so you can get that other hostage book right there, the sketchbook. All right. When he breaks the 50. Just visit the Kickstarter project, Atomika, Atomika. All right, folks. Yo, check it out. Trust me that this is an amazing book. I loved it when it first came out back in 2005, when I was buying it, single issues. I'm very excited to see this as a hardcover, and I think I'm actually going to kick in because this is something I want to be part of my shelf pouring over here. So Sal, thank you so much for taking some time to chit chat.
I really appreciate it.
I love the Chicago energy. You feel like I'm talking to somebody from Brooklyn too, bro.
Hey,
it's awesome.
It's the same shit, just different geography.
Yeah. See, I'll keep my New York slices. You can keep your deep dish because
I like them both, man. I like them both.
No, the deep dish is okay. I have to be in the mood for deep dish, but I'm forever in the mood for a slice.
I like them both. But you know what I love most about New York? Hot pastrami. We got no good deli in Chicago. Trust me. Cat's Deli. You used to have 4 or 5 great deli. They're all going away now.
They're gone,
gone. Second Avenue's gone. But when I go, one of the first places I go when I'm in New York, when I go for the con, I go right to Cat's.
Yeah, you know what's funny? They pile so much pastrami. Where's the bread?
Hot pastrami. I get extra bread on the side. You tip the guy, he gives you some extra bread. I like all fat. Give me the end. Give me the brown mustard.
Bro, you are a man after my heart. So I hope that one day we could connect at a convention somewhere, and you and I are gonna go get some hot pastrami sandwiches, and some brews, and talk about the goodness of comics and geek out, man. You are awesome. God bless, bro.
Thank you.
I always do this, bro. I always like to give flowers because creators like yourself don't get flowers as often as you should, right? Here you are, bro. You've been a forward thinker. You've been a person that wants to break down barriers. You said F everybody else. If you don't want me, I'm gonna do this and prove to you why it's great. So thank you for being bold, for being brave, for putting yourself out there, putting your creations out there, not being shy. You're amazing, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For real. So with that, folks, you know what to do. Follow Sal, follow Comic Crew. The Alta told you what to do. Thank you for tuning in to another Comic Crusaders podcast. Hasta la próxima. Later. Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.